here we are once again. We're arriving on
Happy New
time.
Year. Happy 2021. I hope you all had a nice Christmas, and you're probably looking forward to hopefully going back to school within another month or two.
A lot of schools are
Yeah.
starting that. I think
Yeah.
Mason starts the 19th.
Oh.
Or the 20th. I think
Of
19th
January?
they have off. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then so
Okay.
it would be the 20th.
Okay.
The teachers are all getting their COVID shot on the
Ah,
19th, so
okay.
kids aren't having school.
Okay.
So maybe something like that is happening in your district, I suspect.
Yes. So anyway, we're going to get back to the Beatitudes, which we started talking about these last fall. And basically it was part of the Sermon on the Mount, which Jesus went up on the mountain. And Pam and I decided today, instead of climbing up that mountain,
we're going to fly up
we're
there.
gonna fly up that mountain.
we've got kind of a lot of things to cover today. And instead of spending time with, climbing up to that holy place because it's high, then we're going to just get on our
Hoverboards or
our imagination.
or magic carpets.
There you go. You can fly however you want. You can fly on a
That's right.
magic carpet. You can fly on your board. You can fly on.
Pretend you're a bird and fly up there. Or...
What are the things called that they're taking pictures with now?
Oh, yeah.
Drawing pictures.
Yeah.
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 You get there however you want to. Here you go. Let's just stand up to start, though. Jill doesn't need to if she doesn't want to.
Thank you.
But get ready, get set, travel.
All right. I'm flying like Superman.
And put your goggles on and look down there. And here we are at the top already. Look around and see
Wow,
what
look
you
at the
can
crowd.
see.
Look at Jesus there.
In the Middle East, I don't
Beautiful.
think they have snow even up on top of the
I don't
mountain.
think so either. I think it's probably nice and warm there. So the Beatitudes, just to review, it's when Jesus gave this sermon, in every Beatitude, he gives a blessing and a promise. So with the blessing it might be a way you are. Say like, blessed are those who mourn, so they will be comforted. So mourn would be the blessing, and comfort would be the promise.
That God is going to give you comfort because
Right.
you are caring for other people is why you're mourning.
Right.
And the one today is kind of interesting in terms of the timing of today, and we'll talk a little more about that. But it's blessed are the peacemakers. And I think we want you to start by spending a little time thinking about what do you think when I say peace? Are you at peace? What kinds of things come into your mind, Joe?
I think of quiet, like calm, and no anger.
Nobody's rustling around, trying to get things done in a hurry.
Right. There's not a lot of commotion going on.
Right. Disrupting stuff.
Right.
None of that has. That's like the opposite of peace.
Right.
But the next question it tells us to start with is something your mom and dad probably have said to you, or your teacher at school.
What do your parents mean when they say they want peace and quiet?
Bingo.
I think a lot of things we just describe peace and quiet. If you have siblings, maybe you're arguing or something. That is not what your parents mean by peace and quiet.
They really mean for you to settle down.
Right. Settle down. You can be playing a game or something, but, again, it should, you can quietly play a game. But have you ever been quiet but not at peace?
Lots and lots of times. Sometimes when I'm
absolutely
most not at peace, when I'm angry or when I'm frustrated, I think about it in my head, but I'm not
sometimes you can overthink things, and that is not a peaceful way to be. When you think too much about something, that it really almost consumes your mind and you think too much about it. That is not peaceful. So, have you ever been at peace but not
I
quiet?
was going to say the opposite is absolutely an equal question, and I certainly I have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's times when I feel at peace, like everything is really good, but I'm also happy and
You may
want
sing,
to share, maybe.
or somebody at our house, one of the little people at our house, when she's if everything's going well and she's kind of peaceful, she starts singing. That's really
I love
fun.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so the actual scripture for today is out of Matthew chapter 5 verse 9, and Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God."
I want to be one of them then.
Me too.
I want
And
to
I
be called
think,
a child of God.
we are all children of God, right? So potentially we all can be peacemakers. So just think about that you, because you are a child of God, you can be a peacemaker. And we're going to learn a little bit more about what that means to be a peacemaker. But first, the word peace, it's such an important word that there's a lot of symbols for peace around the world.
I looked up some on my emojis.
Ah, okay.
You can find them on your phone. There's emojis for symbols of peace. I probably could find some, but there's other ones. There's like rainbows,
right? Doves, olive branches.
This is a symbol for peace.
Peace.
I think that's one of the emojis.
And you probably know the peace symbol that has, we've all seen the round peace sign.
That's an emoji too. That's one I was kind of wanted to show, if I could get to it quickly. I'm not gonna.
Right here are your emojis.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
did you put in peace on your search?
Right there.
Oh, there. Yep.
I don't know if you can see it. It's the purple one here.
The peace sign.
And actually that stands, I didn't know that until I looked it up, but that stands for nuclear disarmament.
Oh.
So that means peace like in not at war.
Ah, okay. Okay. And these are just all symbols and images that help bring us together,
Well, and just another symbol, Christian symbols that mean peace. We just talked when we were lighting the candles, the Advent candles. The first Advent candle was peace, and it brought up the story about John the Baptist. And when Jesus was baptized, what happened? The sky was ripped open, and down came a dove, and God's voice saying that this is my son, whom I'm well pleased.
Mm-hmm.
So a dove has become a sign of peace.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I think even in the Old Testament with the dove coming back.
Oh, after the ark.
After the flood, because I think that showed that, God said He'd never send a flood like that again, and that it would be a much more peaceful.
Remember the dove brought a green leaf in its beak, so people knew that the water had gone away somewhere,
right?
Because there was a plant or a tree growing,
right?
So that was a symbol of peace.
So we say peace. The word peace to describe being calm, still, and like Pam said, not disrupted. The kind of peace Jesus talked about was much more than calm, quiet, or lack of conflict. For Jesus, true peace was what He and His followers called shalom.
Yeah, how about you? All of us say that together.
Shalom.
And that's a really important word in the Middle East. People wish other people shalom when they're leaving or when they're
like instead of goodbye, they say shalom.
And so it's a religious word, but it means well-being and everything be good with you and wholesome to you.
Right.
And it's like a blessing from God, a shalom wish.
And shalom means all of your needs, they're the physical and emotional and spiritual, are met and lovingly cared for.
That's a phrase that really struck me. I
Mhm.
really liked that, we have all kinds of needs. Jill just said physical needs and emotional needs and spiritual needs, but that all of us are well cared for.
Mhm.
And when I feel like lovingly cared for, and I think God does that better than anything else.
Yep. Yep. And that makes us children of God.
So you probably don't always feel lovingly cared for. I certainly don't. You?
All the time?
All the time?
No.
There's time that I need
No.
more peace.
Yes.
And I need shalom in my life.
Absolutely.
And that's was true to the people Jesus was talking to on the mountain, but it's still true today.
We talked a little bit before about in Jesus' time how people, wanted power and they got corrupt. And I'm going to read out of this lesson, it's a mini history lesson about Rome. In Jesus' time, Rome conquered many different people's lands and forced Roman laws and customs onto them. They called it Pax Romana. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Maybe it's Pa Romana, meaning peace within Rome. But this did not feel like peace to the people whose lands and lives that they took over. Rome thought it was peace because they squelched, in fact, they quieted anyone who had a different view or belief than they did. So it may have been quiet in Rome, but it really didn't feel peaceful. There wasn't conflict, but it was kind of a fake kind of peace because they weren't able to express themselves, to worship the way they wanted to worship, to have the customs that they always had. They had to conform to what Rome said was okay. So even though there wasn't a lot of, they weren't fighting Rome about that, it wasn't peaceful for the people who had to be suppressed like this.
And Rome did that by forcefully taking over their land and their stores and their cultural way of life.
Yeah.
And Rome was a big country, and that was long ago when it started, but it still goes on today.
Oh, sure.
Countries are still taking over other countries, and people are still being oppressed, and they have to do laws that only help the other person, the powerful person. So it still goes on. That's for sure.
So
yes, peace.
Right.
Thing.
So to create peace and shalom for everyone, what we actually have to do is use our voice and whatever power we have to bring justice, not just say we want peace. So that might sound opposite when we say peace is nice and quiet, but when it's a fake kind of peace, then we do need to speak up and say, well, this isn't really right. This isn't just for everybody.
Yeah, because justice for me is not good if I'm just making people do what I want them to do.
Right.
Justice is where everybody has equal amounts opportunities to have peace. You're not forcing other people. That's what real justice is. Everybody, it can be treated fairly.
Right. And there's a phrase. In fact, the funny thing is I've seen this on the back of Granger trash pickup trucks, and it says, "No justice, no peace." N-O, no justice, N-O, no peace.
And when Jill and I were talking that in some ways this lesson is pretty timely because we've just come through this period last week where people were rioting in the Capitol and they were holding up signs about justice, but justice was just for them. It wasn't for the people that they were rioting against and hurting and looting, stealing, and ruining things for. And they were trying to force their will. And that is not justice.
No, that is not justice.
When it's fair for everybody.
Yep, yep. And so there won't be wholeness or peace until there's a justice among all of us. And when some of us are treated unfairly, that injustice creates trouble and pain. And on the other hand, if there is justice, our community is safe and peaceful because everybody's needs are lovingly cared for. So again, it does come down to the love thy neighbor, be respectful of other people's customs, religions, genders, oh yes,
religions,
age.
Yeah.
I mean, young people and old people both have value to us and to God. If you're disabled, if you're not disabled, I mean, there should be justice for everybody.
God desires peace and wholeness for all people.
Right. And God's peace is not fake peace, because he loves all of us regardless.
That is why Jesus chose in these Beatitudes to bless the peacemakers, for they shall see God.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know if we had a show of hands, how many people would like to see God? I think most of us would raise our hand.
Oh, for sure.
I felt God before, inside of me, but I certainly can't say that I've seen him. So
Right.
that would be wonderful to see him and talk with him and be friends with him.
Yes, that would be great.
So that probably brings us to our blessings.
Yes, it does. It brings us to our blessings. So remember, when we give you a blessing, if you want to put your hands out to receive the blessing, and then after we say the blessing, you can put it in your heart.
And keep it there.
So Pam, would you like to give the blessing?
Okay, we need your hands out. Be ready to receive. May God bless you with peace to be a peacemaker. Okay, receive that and put it in your heart. You have to have found some peace to be able to help other people find peace and to share peace with other people.
Okay, so the coloring page, again, I did not get mine done, but if you can bring this for the Zoom meeting, and we'll talk a little bit about, there's questions like, what does peace mean to you? But anyway, look over the questions. We'll go over that a little bit, but we also have an activity.
It's a little bit tough.
Yeah.
To do, and so we're going to show you. Jill's got hers ready to show you on your activity page. You have 2 pages of this activity page.
Yeah. So
and let me show you.
altogether, there's like 4 situations.
So it will look like this. Okay.
And then
like one's right side up and one's upside down, kind of. And there's a solid line in the middle, and then there's some dotted lines, okay? And there's some solid lines on the edge, too.
Right.
So as you can see, Jill has cut this, it's like this, and you've got 2 pages, so you get 2 of these and 2 of the next page, so you'll get 4 pieces. And she has cut the solid line to cut it apart and then to cut it here. And then she has folded down the dotted lines. And if you could do that much for next week, for Sunday, and then during the Zoom, maybe we could finish this off together, because there's really some more things there that we need to talk about, and they're a little hard to understand. If your parents can do that with you, an older brother, older sister, and kind of help you, but for some of you, this will be really hard to finish off on your own.
yeah, so we'll definitely talk about it, but it's basically giving some situations where something happens and the person or the group of people is not at peace because of how they're treated and ways that we could bring justice and peace to the situation.
Ways that you might be able to help, or if you don't have the power to help, you might. There are some other things you might want to think about to try and do.
Sure. So have those ready if you want to color them. Go ahead and color them.
And if
That would
somebody
be fun.
helps you with it, then you can do it and show us. But we just think they're kind of, it's a little hard to understand on your own. Like we had to talk with each other to get it. And I'm not sure we completely got it.
But I think we get the gist enough that we can discuss the situations
Right.
and ways that we can be a peacemaker and try to bring justice to different situations. And they are real life situations that we see in today's world. So I think it will be a good discussion for us.
Mm-hmm. So that brings us around to closing with prayer. And
Okay.
Miss Jill, how about if you want to do it and then I'll repeat, or
Sure.
you want to?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We'll do that.
How about let's make prayerful hands so that we know, it kind of gets us in the mood to talk with God, and bow your head and close your eyes and then follow Jill's prayer. Say it with me.
God of peace,
God of peace,
we want to be peacemakers
we want to be peacemakers
and justice workers in your name.
and justice workers in your name.
We want to follow your lead in creating a world
We want to follow your lead in creating a world
where each one of us experiences true wholeness.
where each one of us, all people, experience true wholeness.
Please show us what our next step is today
Please show us what our next step is today
in creating the peace our world needs.
in creating the peace our world needs.
Amen.
Amen. We'll see you Sunday morning at 9:30 to 10. And boy, hopefully it's getting closer to a time when we can see you face to
I
face
know, I
and
can't
in
wait.
person. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, bye-bye.